James chapter 5 verse 10. Take my brother and the prophets who have spoken in the name of the Lord for an example of suffering, affliction, and of patience. Call Allah, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachak Wadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who were well. Salutations to the hopeful elect that preaches truth out of the four corners of the globe. Alright. You know, just like the scripture said, man, take the prophets as an example of suffering, affliction, and patience. All right. Now we supposed to be looking, at the prophets of old and following in their footsteps, man. You know, basically, reading these scriptures, all right, and learning from it. All right, because that's where all the suffering and affliction is at. All right, it's in these scriptures, because you got to read, man. You got to read about the prophets. You got to read about what the prophets went through. It's all in these scriptures, man. All right, so that's how you find out the suffering afflictions of the prophets, man, that spoke in the name of the Lord. You got to read the scriptures, man. All right, Salakia, this is Romans chapter 15, verse 4. It says, for whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning. Right, man. And who wrote these books? The prophets wrote these books, man. All right, and they said it was written for our learning. So we are to learn from what the apostles and elders and the disciples wrote, man. We are to learn from this, man. I mean, you gotta read these scriptures. Scriptures say, blessed is he that readeth, man. All right, so you gotta read the scriptures and understand it. You gotta understand what you're reading, man. All right, pray that the Lord give you the spirit to understand, to guide you through these scriptures, man. You know. It says, for whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. Right, man. Through patience and comfort of the scriptures. You know, these scriptures gonna bring you comfort, man. You know, these scriptures will bring you comfort. No matter what state you in, what feeling you in, all right, what mood you in, whatever you're going through, these scriptures will bring you comfort, man. You know? I'm gonna read that back. It says, I'm gonna read that last part back. It says, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. Right. So these scriptures will give us hope, man. These scriptures gonna give us patience. All right, you got to read and understand. You know, these things that were written aforetime, before our time, man. They was written for our learning. And that's why the Lord put the spirit on the prophets to write it down, man. So that we can learn from it and that they could become examples and that we can follow in examples that they left. Because the prophets left examples for us to follow after. And all the examples that they left is in these scriptures, man. So you gotta read the scriptures. Salaki. This is 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 16. All scripture is given by inspiration of Yahweh, and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness. All right, so these scriptures is profitable, man, which means beneficial. All right, prosperous. These scriptures is what's gonna help us prosper. All right, prosper in the doctrine. Scriptures is what's gonna help us prosper in reproof, which is correction and rebuction. Because that's what we use the scripture. We use the scriptures to correct ourselves and to correct others. You know, correct our people. Because when we go on the highways and byways, we pull out these scriptures, we correcting them, we rebuking them, man. All right, the Lord said that to go out and show His people their transgressions. So that's what we do, man. Even when we make these videos. All right. So we use these scriptures to correct each other, to correct ourselves, man. You know, we use these scriptures for the instruction of righteousness, as it says, so we can learn how to be righteous. All right. And the Lord literally gives us a guide on how to be righteous, man, and what righteousness is. It's all in here. It's all in the book, man. You know, you just gotta read, man. Salakia. But I'm gonna read this back. It says all scripture is given by inspiration of Yahweh. All scripture, man. Not just this scripture, not just the Old Testament, not just the New Testament. All scripture, man. You know, that cuts that people that believe in the New Testament, believe in the Old Testament. No, man. Scripture say all scripture is given for inspiration. Is given by inspiration of the Lord, man, which is Yahweh. And is profitable for doctrine. Right. Every scripture is doctrine. This is our doctrine. The scriptures. Alright? You know, we trying to live life through these scriptures, man. Because this is our doctrine. These scriptures is our doctrine. You know, everything we believe, everything we live our life based off of is in these scriptures. And that's how we trying to teach. Because the law, statute, commandments is in these scriptures. Alright? Everything in life is in these scriptures, man. Alright, it says, it is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction of righteousness. Right, in the Bible is an instruction for righteousness, man. Alright, you gotta understand what you're reading. I'm gonna go to 2 Timothy. I'm back in 2 Timothy 4. It's 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 2. It says, preach the word, be instant, in season, out of season, rebuke, reprove, exhort with all long suffering and doctrine. And that's what we are to do, man. That's a commandment right there. Preach the word, in season and out of season. That means preach the word no matter what weather it is, what climate it is, in season and out of season. Preach the word, man. Alright? Because you got certain people that only preach the word when it's warm outside. You know, when the weather benefits them, whenever the time benefits them. No, the scriptures say, preach the word in season, out of season, man. It says, reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering and doctrine. And you need the scriptures to learn how to rebuke. You need the scriptures to learn how to reprove. You need scriptures to learn how to exhort. Alright? Because that's the only way you can do these things, through the scriptures. Verse 3, it says, for the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lust shall they heap to themselves teachers having itching ears, and they shall turn away their ears from the truth and shall be turned into fables. And that's what's going on now, man. You got our people being turned into these fables. They not listening to the word, man. They turn their ear away from the word just to hear these fake teachers, man. These fake false prophets. Alright, and they believe, worship these idols, these false idols and things of that nature. But Salakia, don't want to go off the topic. So I'm gonna go to First Peter. This is 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 1. For as much then as Hamashiach hath suffered for us in the flesh, arm yourselves likewise with the same mind. For he that hath suffered in the flesh hath ceased from sin. Alright? So Yahweh Shah suffered in the flesh. So we gotta suffer in the flesh, man. We gotta walk in those footsteps of Yahweh Baal Shem Yahweh Shah. And Yahweh Shah was the word, man. Alright? You know? Cause that's what it all leads up to, man. Learning these scriptures, alright, and learning the breakdown of these scriptures and memorizing it and living out these scriptures, you know, doing the law, statute, commandment. It all leads up to suffering in the flesh, alright, so that we can adore it to the end, man, so that we can cease from sin. Alright, you gotta suffer in the flesh, like Yahweh Shah did, man. That's what we gotta do. Alright, as Israelite men, in this truth, we gotta suffer in the flesh, like Yahweh Shah did, man, so that we can cease from sin. That's the whole point of these scriptures, man. That's the whole point of learning, knowing these scriptures, and basically downloading these scriptures in your brain, man, and in your spirit. Alright? Because when you suffering in the flesh and you got the scriptures, then you can be, then the scriptures gonna comfort you. Alright? The scriptures was gonna keep you sane. The scriptures was gonna keep you in control of your spirit, man. Alright, this wisdom and knowledge is what's gonna keep you stable when you suffering in the flesh. Alright? But if you don't got this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, you're gonna be bugged out, man. Alright? If you don't got this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and you suffering in the flesh, then you're gonna perish, man. You ain't gonna have no type of support behind you, no type of stability. Alright, you're just gonna perish. And that's why 2/3 of the nation of Israel gonna perish, because they don't got this wisdom and knowledge, man. And Salakia, if I'm kind of jumping around, I'm just going through the spirit. This is Isaiah chapter 33, verse 5, or Salakia, verse 6. It says, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. Fear of the Lord is his treasure. Alright, wisdom and knowledge is the fear of the Lord. The beginning of wisdom and knowledge is the fear of the Lord, man. You know? So you gotta fear the Lord first. You gotta fear the Lord, man. When you fear the Lord, you know, wisdom and knowledge gonna come. And that's what's gonna be your stability. That's what's gonna keep you stable. You know? That's what's gonna keep you rooted in this truth. And